Cosmos is a crypto project similar to Ethereum with interoperability. And so with me to explain exactly what Cosmos is and what all that means, Ben Armstrong, and then also Peng Zhong to explain it. So Ben, let's start with you. So you support the Cosmos project. Talk about what it is. What do you like about it?
Yeah, so I've always been a big proponent ever since I got into crypto and altcoins of smart contract platforms. I believe they're the future. I believe they got way more potential than Bitcoin ever dreamed of having. Much more functional. They serve purposes other than just being digital gold or currency. And so when I started looking into a lot of these projects early on, obviously Ethereum and then Tron and EOS were some of the bigger ones early on that seemed to be doing okay. But they still kept running into all of these different issues. And so we had kind of a new generation of, smart contract platform that started raising up. And one of those is Cosmos. And the focus of Cosmos, like you mentioned, is interoperability. So the idea is a huge problem in crypto is getting blockchains to work together. So like if I went on Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange, ran on the Ethereum blockchain, I can't directly go and get assets that are on other chains. There are some workarounds like wrapped assets, synthetic versions of assets, but for actually trading an Ethereum-based asset versus, another kind of asset, you can't do it because they're not interoperable. The chains, they kind of just run, parallel to each other instead of perpendicular. And so Cosmos is set out to solve this problem. Of course, Tendermint, the company, the infrastructure lying beneath Cosmos, they've set out to solve this problem. And so far, they're doing a really good job. For a long time, I've said I think Cosmos is definitely one of the most underrated projects in all of crypto. Even though it does stay consistently in the top 50, I think it can go much higher because of, like I said, the problem they're trying to solve is what many people would believe the biggest problem in crypto.
They're interesting. I've never thought about that, making the blockchains work together. So, I mean, I guess at some point that will have to happen as blockchain and this whole industry grows. So, okay. So Peng, now, so you are CEO of Tendermint, and explain its relationship to Cosmos, and then talk a little bit about decentralization and explain why that matters.
Yeah, happy to chat about it. So Tendermint is a core company building Cosmos core infrastructure. Like Ben said, we do a lot of development that is required, to make sure blockchains can interoperate between each other. But Cosmos is a very decentralized entity, right? So while I'm the CEO of Tendermint, there are roughly 15 other core companies all building Cosmos tech. And that really is the strength of the ecosystem. So decentralized finance, right, is something that is on the tip of everyone's tongues today, especially in Ethereum. And it's always marketed as sort of this way to democratize access, to finance for everyone around the world, right? You don't have to go through, any sort of centralized intermediaries to transfer money or to get loans or, to make swaps or to trade assets. And, Ethereum has really brought that promise to life, I would say. But one of the biggest problems with Ethereum is the very high transaction costs, right? So as democratic as it is, you still need quite a big chunk of change to start getting into crypto and Ethereum, right? It's been said today that, if you have under $1,000 worth of assets that you want to start trading on the Ethereum platform with an exchange like Uniswap, you might not want to do it just because it can cost upwards of hundreds of dollars in fees just to make one swap, at which point, you don't have a much smaller, number of assets.
Those gas fees can be very detrimental. So, Peng, tell me a little bit more about Gravity, DEX, I guess, decentralized exchange, I'm assuming, and Amaris. What are those? Who are those available to?
Yeah, so GravityDEX and Amaris are both products of Tendermint. GravityDEX is an open source trading protocol similar to Uniswap, but its one major defining difference is that it's multi-chain from the beginning, right? So in Cosmos, every chain generally only has one token, as opposed to Ethereum, which has many tokens due to smart contracts. But the cool thing about Cosmos is every chain that's built can send tokens back and forth between each other, right? So what we mentioned before, the high transaction fees on Ethereum are caused by congestion, right? It's as if everyone was on the same Google spreadsheet together trying to edit every cell at the same time. You're going to run into congestion problems. You're going to have limited numbers of people. And if you don't pay enough, your transactions might never happen. So in Cosmos, we care a lot about scalability. And we think that, application specific blockchains, one chain that does one thing is the way to go. And GravityDEX allows you to trade assets between all of these chains together.
Okay. And then Ben, talk about your take on Cosmos. Clearly you're a supporter. I mean, just and how that plays in the whole DeFi kind of ecosystem.
Right. So I would say, Cosmos and the Cosmos ecosystem is the next generation for DeFi. Cosmos is meant to bridge all chains together, right? So we mentioned Ethereum in the past, and Ethereum is going to be, a very strong contender, as the biggest ecosystem today in DeFi, but Cosmos will allow you to bridge to Ethereum. It'll also allow you to bridge other, very big ecosystems today, ones that are, trending today, like Solana, Polkadot, Avalanche. Cosmos is meant to bridge them all together.
Interesting. And I just heard of Avalanche for the first time recently. So Ben, do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, definitely. I think when it comes to decentralized finance, I mean, this is the biggest opportunity in crypto, not just from the investor standpoint, but also from the project standpoint. And when you look at the different crypto projects and what they're trying to achieve, and you factor in the interoperability of Cosmos, let's just take the DEXs, for instance. With the example I was using earlier, like if you go use Uniswap on Ethereum, you can't, move project or crypto investments between different chains. Well, with something like Cosmos, when it is fully interoperable and all the chains are connected to it, think about the potential of how much more volume can be traded when you have so many more different options for what you can actually go back and forth between. You're not limited by the chains. So what, Cosmos and Tendermint has done with the gravity bridge between Ethereum and Atom, which is the ticker symbol for Cosmos. I mean, this is, to me, really phase one of Cosmos really making waves in DeFi. And speaking about the scalability and the congestion problems of Ethereum, as Peng was earlier, the thing is, transaction fees on Cosmos right now are anywhere from 1 cent to 10 cent. On Ethereum, I personally paid $300 or $400, in between $300 and $400 for one transaction. Yeah. And even then, that transaction is not guaranteed to go through. As more tokens come into this ecosystem as well, I think that's going to open up a lot more spots for DeFi. And then you look at the connection, the partnership between Luna or Terra, another large crypto project with the UST stablecoin. Cosmos is working with them lately as well. I think there's just so much potential for Cosmos. There's just so much room in DeFi for other projects to get involved. I think Cosmos is definitely one to keep your eye on, is they're really going hard at this right now, and they've got a growing ecosystem.
Okay, so Peng, we talked about Gravity Dex, Amaris. Are there any other projects that you're working on?
Yeah, so Amaris is the way to access Gravity Dex to start with, but Amaris is meant to be just sort of one-stop shop for all cross-chain DeFi activities, right? So, you go to a bank today and you have access to your assets, in your preferred currencies. Well, Amaris is meant to be the decentralized version of that. You can access all your crypto assets across all blockchains at once, as long as they bridge to each other. Mm-hmm. We launched it 2 weeks ago, and we already have over 22,000 active users and almost $30 million of liquidity deposited onto the Amaris exchange.
Amazing.
So that's really incredible.
Yeah, that is.
As far as the greater ecosystem goes, it's a very big and very strong ecosystem. Like Ben said earlier, Terra is actually built on Cosmos technology, as well as Binance Coin. There's over 250 blockchain projects built on Cosmos, and it's a technology stack that secures over $110 billion worth of assets, really second only to Ethereum.
Now, I know a lot of people who are interested in this field, and you can both kind of weigh in this as a final question. They don't even know how to begin to get started. They don't know how to buy. My 14-year-old son is one of them, wants to buy an NFT, doesn't really know how to do it. So, I mean, can you talk about the Cosmos project in particular, and how would somebody even get started in that? What do they do, like, for a real beginner?
Yeah, so like I just mentioned before, Amaris is meant to be the entryway for everyone to go into crypto. We are bridging to Ethereum in the future, bridging to other big major ecosystems, and we have a big focus on user experience. I come from a design background myself, and it's been always my goal to democratize access to DeFi and democratize access to NFTs and make sure everyone can use it. Because at the end of the day, all of these tools are meant for the world at large.
Yeah, well, that's the big promise of blockchain. So Ben, final thoughts on Cosmos and just in general, how people can get involved in crypto, blockchain, NFTs, any of that space?
Yeah, YouTube is definitely a great place for people to start. Obviously, you check out my channel, BitBoy Crypto, but there's tons of other great channels out there. The education is very key. I tell the story all the time about how I first got involved into crypto back in 2012, and then I sold it all in 2013 because I didn't know what I was investing in. I didn't see the big opportunity. And getting that education, whether it's through reading crypto media sites or watching YouTube videos or reading some of the books from Andreas Antonopoulos or some of the other great, crypto and Bitcoin authors, you have to know what you're investing in. And a lot of people want to do it the other way. They just want to throw money into it and then just get rich. But you got to have that education to really understand the optimal moves and the optimal projects that are going to do well. And when it comes to Cosmos specifically, just to tie the whole thing up, we've seen recently Ethereum, Cardano that doesn't even have anything launched yet. Solana, we've seen some of these ecosystems just absolutely blow up out of nowhere after years of staying dormant, in the case of some like Polygon, for instance. And in my opinion, I think Cosmos is one that definitely has that, opportunity to be one of those big rally coins, similar to what we've seen from some of these other smart contract platforms. There's no better niche to invest in than smart contract platforms.
Peng, where can somebody buy a Cosmos token?
Yeah, so I'm Coinbase. I know it's on Coinbase. We've got it on all kinds of different places. Yeah, awesome. Coinbase is definitely has it on there. We bought it there before. Several other exchanges. I'm sure Peng would know all the exchanges a little bit better, but Coinbase is where we buy it through.
Yeah, Coinbase is a great place. I use it a lot. There's crypto.com as well, and then there's also Emirates itself. There is a fiat on ramp within Emirates, so you can get Cosmos tokens from there.
So you can put your fiat money in there and buy the Cosmos token. So
that's right.
Yeah, you're right. Education and Coinbase, speaking of Coinbase, they have a lot of educational tools on their site as well. So thank you guys. So interesting. Best of luck.